What is up, Packer fans? Welcome back. Here we are, week 15. The Packers are still in the mix. After this last week, pretty much everything that needed to happen for Green Bay happened except for the Lions losing. That was all. We needed the Vikings to beat the Lions. The two times this year I've rooted for the Vikings, which I hate doing. It, it ruins my life, but the two times I had to this year, they lost against the Cowboys and against the Lions on Sunday. Definitely not what we were looking for from them, but we got losses from the other teams, Seattle, the Giants, the Falcons and the Commanders had bye weeks, but the Packers, if they can win out and get a little bit of help, they are going to make the playoffs, and I think with how this offense has kind of got going here the last few weeks, if the defense can clean some things up, with Aaron Rodgers at the helm, this Packers team could be dangerous. They just have to get there. So for the Packers, it looks like this. It's easy peasy. If they win out, Packers have to win out. If they lose any of these next 4 games, this is a wrap. It's over with. It's done. That's it. Kiss the baby. It's curtains. Goodbye. That's it. So we have the Rams on Sunday, or I think it's Monday Night Football, actually. We have the Rams next. Then we have at Miami. This is the one that I'm worried about the most. However, Tua has not played well the last 2 weeks. The most recent week, this weekend, against the Chargers, he had a 35% completion percentage. Less than half of it. He was like 10 of 28. It was awful. Granted, they still have Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle, but they look bad, and maybe this is the time the Packers can get them when they're struggling, when Tua's having his issues, and the Packers can take advantage. But that's the one on Christmas Eve that I'm worried about the most, is at Miami. Rodgers has struggled down in Florida during his career, but he also has one down there, and it's just going to be a game that we have to have. That's it. That's going to be the one that I worry about the most, because after that we have the Vikings and then the Lions, Week 18, both at Lambeau. So 3 of the next 4 games for the Packers are at Lambeau. That's huge. That's huge for Green Bay. They need to get these wins. But, like I said, if they don't win these next 4, it doesn't matter anyway what happens elsewhere. They're done. They're done. They're done. So right now, at 5-8, going into this week, against the Rams, and then the Dolphins, and then the Vikings, and then the Lions, win all those, then the Packers need some help. So here is what the Packers need from the rest of the teams. I know, like they say, like the Panthers are in the mix, and the Cardinals are still in the mix, and the Falcons are still in the mix, but we're taking all that out of the situation because those teams are technically behind Green Bay right now, and if the Packers win out, those teams won't be an issue in their way. The teams that are in their way are the teams that are above them in the playoff seeding. The New York Giants, the Washington Commanders, and the Seattle Seahawks. Giants and Seahawks coming off a loss this week. Seahawks didn't have their running back. Commanders went up against the Eagles, and the Eagles just dominated them. In New York, too, I'm pretty sure. So that is a crazy big win for the Packers, having the Eagles beat the Giants here. Now, each team has 4 more games. The Giants have 4 games left. The Commanders have 4 games left. And the Seahawks have 4 games left. So we'll start with the Seahawks because that's kind of the most basic one out of these 3. Seahawks, they have 4 games left. They have to lose 2 of the 4. Just lose 2 of the 4, and the Packers are in with that part of it. So the Niners are one of their opponents. Seahawks, Niners, is always a good battle, that NFC West. The Niners should win that game. They'll be favored in that game. Then the Seahawks have the Chiefs. They have Niners, Chiefs. So I'm thinking they can lose 2 right there. Then they have the Jets, which has played well recently. And then they have the Rams, who, what Rams team are you going to get? The high-powered one with, Baker Mayfield in the 4th quarter with 98 yards to go, or are you going to get 1st, 2nd, and 3rd quarter Baker Mayfield? So, but, that's when I look at that, I see 2 losses there. Either Niners, Chiefs, maybe the Jets squeak past them because they don't play each other a lot, or, Rams in the division. It's going to be tough. There's 2 division games, 2 non-division games for them. I see them splitting that. I see them going 2-4, especially if they don't have Kenneth Walker in at running back. So that is where I think the Packers can get past the Seahawks. So now it comes down to the 2 NFC East teams both have the tiebreakers over Green Bay, which sucks because they could, if we had won either of those games or both of those games, well, obviously we wouldn't be in this position. But if, let's say, we won those games but the record was the same, then they'd have to lose 2 games instead of 3. Now they have to lose 3 out of 4, and it's either or. It's not both. It's either or. The Giants either have to lose 3 of the next 4, or the Commanders have to lose 3 of the next 4. And so for the Commanders and the Giants, though, they play each other next weekend. And the last time they played, they had a tie. I don't think it'll be a tie again. I do think the Giants will beat the Commanders. I'm looking at, Washington being that team that gets beat and allows the Packers to squeak into the playoffs as long as Seattle continues to lose. I think the Giants, the Giants play the Commanders first, so that's one game they both play each other. So somebody's going to win that game. But that can be the only game they win because then they have to lose after that. So for the Giants, after that, they have the Vikings, the Colts, and the Eagles. So Vikings and Eagles could be losses if they lose to the Commanders, or I don't know how a tie plays in if they tied each other again. That'd make things a lot more interesting. But if they lose to if the Giants lose to the Commanders and then lose to the Falcons or the Vikings and the Eagles, then they're done. So that'd be awesome. Then they still have the Colts, who knows what Colt team you'll get. You could have a good one where Jonathan Taylor has like 200 yards rushing, or one where they struggle. So that's going to be tight. It's going to be interesting to see who wins this game this weekend between the Giants and the Washington Commanders. Whichever team loses is the team that we have to root for to lose, because they'd only have to lose 2 of the next 3, while the other team would have to lose 3 of the next 3. So the winner of this one is going to be the one that we're just kind of like, okay, you got it. Now hopefully the other team, and that's why Washington looks to be the team that we can sneak past. Because check this out. They have the Giants. So if the Giants come in and beat them, like I said, they play each other. If the Giants can beat them, then the Commanders have to lose 2 of the next 3. And check out this. They play the Niners, who are going to keep playing, especially next weekend. They're going to be playing to try to get, better seeding. Then they have the Browns, who I believe are still in the playoff race. Deshaun Watson has not played well, but who knows where they'll be at in 3 weeks. And maybe they can get a win over the Commanders. I think that one's in Cleveland, so very interesting. And then Washington, the final game of the year for Washington, the Cowboys. So for the Packers, we're going to be Niners fans, we're going to be Cowboys fans, we're going to be Vikings fans, we're going to be Eagles fans. Pretty much, Chiefs, hopefully help us beat Seattle. For me, 2 weeks ago, I was thinking, there's no way. There's no way. We got to sit down Rodgers, let Jordan Love play. If he sucks, we get a draft pick. If he's great, then he's the future. Problem solved. Rodgers said, no, we still got a little mathematical, percentage to make the playoffs. I was like 1%, or it was like 2% or 6% at the time, I think, actually. Now it's dropped down even more. But now after this last week, I thought this bye week could have a huge implications when it came to the playoff seeding, and it did. It would have been nice if the Lions would have lost. The Packers have to play the Lions, so if they beat the Lions, and hopefully the Lions lose again, but they're saying if the Lions win out and the Vikings lose out, the Lions could still win the division, the NFC North, which is crazy to me. That's crazy to me, but either way, Packers, if they can win out, and hopefully the Lions lose out. Lions are a team in this mix that we're not really counting because we have to beat them anyway. So we'll see. We will see. It's going to be tight. It's going to be close. But the more I look at this now, seeing that Seattle has to lose 2 games and they're playing against 2 or 3 teams that could beat them easily, I like that. And then Washington, they have to lose 3 to 4. It looks like they could lose 3 out of the next 4. based on the, I'd pick the Giants to win, the Niners to win, and the Cowboys to win. So I would pick that. And then against the Giants, the Vikings and the Eagles, they might get 2 out of the 4, but we'll see. We'll see. Maybe the Commanders, maybe they both will lose 3 out of 4, because if the Commanders beat the Giants right away, and then the Giants, win one against the Colts, but they lose the Vikings, Eagles, and then if the Commanders win against the Giants, but then they lose against the Niners, Browns, and Cowboys, it could work out, So I wasn't as optimistic before, but now I'm starting to lean towards some optimism. Packers, though, they have to do their job. It won't matter at all if they don't beat the Rams. Get after Baker Mayfield. We're going to be doing plenty of analysis of that game, heading out of the bye week into the Rams game at Lambeau. Like I said, 3 out of the next 4 are in Green Bay. That is huge for the Packers. So let's get these wins. Packers can do it. We need a little bit of help, but it's not as unrealistic as it initially seemed. Now, I think, we're starting to see this Packers offense come along. Romeo Doubs is coming back this week. Christian Watson's got 8 touchdowns in the last 4 games. Let's see what this offense looks like when it has real weapons on the outside. I'm super excited. Hope you guys are excited. Let's go. The final 4 games of the season. Let's ride this wave together. Go Pack, go. Peace out, guys. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel. See you guys next time. Go Pack, go. Peace out again. Later.